I am going to jump right into the news today. I don't have a ton of stories, but I also have some stories that are not in the description, and so I'll mention those once I get to them. But let's start first off. Bishop Martin of Charlotte, once again in the news. You'd think that he would have tried to keep a low profile for a while after being extremely unpopular, but he's back in the news. He has imposed requirements on masses for 3 high schools in Charlotte. There are several points. The use of kneelers and communion rails for the distribution of Holy Communion is forbidden. And there must be students to serve as Eucharistic ministers. That's really cringe. A projector and screen are to be installed in the chapels to facilitate the singing of hymns and longer parts of the Mass, such as the Gloria and the Creed. This is actually not in compliance with USCCB regulations. The USCCB either bans or strongly discourages projector screens. So he's directly contradicting the instructions of the USCCB, not that that's going to make any difference. And at large masses, a student is to give a testimonial about their faith life lasting 3 to 5 minutes between the final prayer and the blessing and dismissal. So, like during the Mass, a student is supposed to speak. And this is just ridiculous. I mean, Martin has shown he has no interest in the Catholic faith, but and one of his celebrity priests, Father Casey, who he brought to Charlotte, what did Father Casey criticize? I don't know. Father Casey Cole, sort of famous Franciscan, who I have a video where he promotes errors, and people didn't like to hear the truth, but I'm sorry. It's just what it is. Okay. So, Pope Leo will open a new Vatican-run ecological training center in the Italian countryside on last Friday, in an initiative Catholic officials say is meant to encourage world leaders to address global climate change. That's the most pressing issue facing our world today. Did they build a runway to accommodate the private jets of the globalist elites? That's a big question, because this center seems to be a nice training place for the leftist elites who buy into that kind of stuff. Okay. On September 4th, Leo received Bishop Georg Batzing, head of the German Bishops' Conference, in a private audience for the first time since becoming Pope. I don't know for sure if Batzing was supposed to be part of the LMNOP group or not, but he certainly would fit right in. The Holy See did not comment on the meeting, but Batzing released the following statement after the audience. And again, this is becoming a trend. Batzing said, "I am grateful for today's meeting with Pope Leo XIV and the good and meaningful conversation we were able to have. Before he was elected Pope, I had the opportunity to meet the Holy Father several times in recent years, not least during the World Synod." Yep, they were both members of the Synodal Synod. And now, too, I have found him to be an attentive listener and interested pastor. We discuss many topics which I will report on to the plenary assembly of the German Bishops' Conference in Fulda in recent weeks. I'm very pleased that Pope Leo XIV accompanies the Church in Germany with trust. And Batzing is known for his radical heterodoxy. So it just kind of goes to show what's going on, where these priests say, they have a reaction from their meeting with Leo, and the Vatican doesn't comment. And so we only have one side of the story to go on. And so as long as the Vatican's not going to comment, then it's best to treat take the like Slim Jim Martin. It's best to take him at his word. And Batsing, take him at his word. I don't know. I mean, what else can you do? Because you don't know that. You don't know what actually went on. So, anyway, okay. And there are a few late stories, so I'm going to have to browse this a little bit. But around 1,000 people took part in the LMNOP march to St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican on Saturday. The group carried a large rainbow cross. There were men holding hands and people in LMNOP colored clothes. Before the march, Bishop Francesco Savino, Vice President of the Italian Bishops' Conference, celebrated a Eucharist. According to the LMNOP activist James Martin, Bishop Savino mentioned that he had spoken with Leo XIV about the Eucharist. The Pope had encouraged him to celebrate it with the group. Go celebrate the Mass with them, is what Leo is quoted as saying. Bishop Savino quoted Leo as saying. During the homily, Bishop Savino said that in a Jubilee year, land was returned to those from whom it had been taken. He said, the quote is, "Brothers and sisters, I say this with emotion. It is time to restore dignity to everyone, especially those who have been denied it." So the bishop was encouraged by Leo. Yeah, so anyway. Okay. Now, we are moving on. I believe this is in Latin America. It is. Archbishop Jorge Lozano of San Juan de Cuyo, Argentina, has decreed that first communicants must receive communion standing and in the hand, which is illegal, actually. The August 27th decree was sent to parish priests, parish vicars, Catholic school administrators, and catechists. It demands for first communions and confirmations that all altar servers and catechumens of any age will receive Holy Communion only while standing in the hand. It's an offense against church law. And this Gloria TV says he was a friend of Francis, so I don't know if that's true or not, but it would be no surprise if that was true. Oh, okay. So his principal consecrator of his as a bishop was Archbishop Bergoglio. Okay. Well, no surprise there. So, and you can see, I mean, you can see why this is not, this is unacceptable, honestly. These bishops, they're running a counter church. And, people go to the Catholic Church to be Catholic, but the bishops hate it. Okay. Bishops hate it. So, some of them hate your guts. All right, I got another story. Cardinal Burke has been invited to say, or I guess approved, to say the Mass at St. Peter's Basilica, the traditional Mass, for the Summorum Pontificum pilgrimage in October. So, I believe Cardinal Zuppi is taking part in that as well, which is, he's all over the map. But if he he'd turn into a semi-trad if Benedict were Pope. But now the Mass isn't as what would you say, taboo, or it's not as necessary to be so underground about celebrating the Mass. And so being enthusiastic about the Mass. So you have the people that are interested or at least kind of like it, kind of coming back around. Maybe we can come out of hiding at some point. I don't know, but with rotten bishops denying people communion, the normative posture for communion, at least throughout most of church history in the Roman Rite, we still have lots of uphill battles to fight, and with these with these rotten bishops still running the show, it's going to be tough. Okay, well, I think that's all I have for today. Oh, I did see something on LifeSite News. There's a guy, some deranged guy, some deranged guy from Alabama drove the whole way to California to with weapons to a monastery, St. Michael's Arch Abbey in Orange County, California. That's really strange. Okay, that's really weird. Anyway, yeah, the LMNOP pilgrimage, it kind of went on, and I don't know. I don't know if the Vatican's trying to keep it under the radar or what, but that's just what we've been dealing with. Okay, all right. So that's the news for today. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. This has been EVTN News. We are the laity, and we will not be silent.